Good morning, guys. Today is a really interesting day. Bitcoin. There are so many unconfirmed transactions. David has a really good analogy to understand what that means.
So transactions fit in what's called a block, and that block has a size of 1 megabyte. So think of it like a bus. Imagine you had a bus with 50 seats. The moment there's more than 50 passengers, a line forms. There's 500,000 people waiting for their money to go through. So TechStreet is a visualizer to show what it looks like when the network is congested. These are real-time transactions. So if I hover over the little people, you can actually click the hash to see the transaction, right? Oh, look at this, more. So I pay my assistant in Bitcoin Cash, and I recently ran out of Bitcoin Cash on my wallet, so I decided to send her BTC. And she's stranded on an island.
Fucking Bitcoin doesn't fucking go through. It's been 2 days. It's fucking so slow to try.
So she was gonna send the Bitcoin that she's paid to the exchange to sell for pesos, and her plan was, oh, I could do that. Usually takes an hour, and I'll use the money to fly home. But the problem is, because of this problem, there's 500,000 people waiting. Her transaction is stuck between her wallet and the exchange, and because of that, not only could she not afford the flight, now she's stranded on an island broke. She can't use her money. Yeah. She has nowhere to sleep. She said that she sold her watch to a random foreigner so she could afford a hostel. It's still so slow. She had to stay the night again, and now she's crying because she's like, what the fuck's happening? So I sent her some Bitcoin Cash.
So I just want to point out, you want to see how bad this is? Here is a real tweet by a well-known, a famous Bitcoin maximalist, a guy who only believes in Bitcoin. This is what he had to say about a man who was just trying to sell some fruit and get by, just to feed his family. So today I'm filming my video on the Lightning Network and my experience with it. In fact, do you have a bank account?
No.
Okay, so there you go. Most people here that I've met don't even have bank accounts. And if we want the first foray into digital currency to be crypto, it behooves us to make sure that crypto actually works. And I'm sorry, 2 days to transfer a little bit of money, in my opinion, doesn't work. We're going on a walk, we're going on a talk, we're with David Bond.
Hey. Dude, look at that.
He doesn't like that my lens is dirty, and by the way, he cleans his lenses with his shirt. You're not supposed to do that. And the reason I created my YouTube channel is to show how people are actually using cryptocurrency. Not for investment, but use it as money. In the Philippines, they have a tool called GCash. Guess what? It's a QR code that they scan with their phone and it transfers money instantaneously. The fact that a gross custodial tool in the banking industry is more convenient than cryptocurrency without giant fees, and meanwhile Bitcoin has massive fees, it takes days to transfer, that just doesn't work. Bitcoin needs to be better than the pre-existing tools. It's so easy for people here in the Philippines to use their GCash, to use their payment systems, that there's not much compelling reason for them to go and use something like Bitcoin. I think for cryptos to succeed, for people around the world to use it or to want to use it, it needs to be the best solution. Not just best theoretically, right? People understand theoretically Bitcoin has a maximum limit, so therefore it's theoretically better, but it needs to be actually better in user experience. It needs to be fast, it needs to be cheap, it needs to be easy. Now again, all of this kind of doesn't matter when we start talking about Lightning, because Lightning is the solution to all of these problems that Bitcoin has. But the question I have for you is it actually a better solution? What is going on?
Stop
here?
covering them out. Girls, what are you doing watching anime?
You're so enjoying yourself.
Okay.
Underneath. Okay.
All right, coffee time. I'm with David still. Yeah, this is it. Hey man. And this is still the Lightning video. So we're gonna talk about the Lightning Network. Have a little bit of logic about how Lightning was described to me. Imagine that you have a coffee shop that's across the street from you. So you go there, and rather than pay for every coffee that you drink, right? Take your credit card out, swipe, and pay $1 for a coffee. If you're gonna be there a bunch of times, why not just have a line of credit where you write down every coffee you have, let's say over a course of a week, and then when you're ready to settle the bill, you settle all at once, so you have less credit card fees to pay, right? That makes a lot of sense, is rather than have lots of Bitcoin transactions that will be really expensive. Right now, they're like $40 each. Instead, what you can do is have lots of Lightning transactions for fractions of a penny, and then when you want to settle your bill, so to speak, you can pay once to get your money out of Lightning into the Bitcoin network again. Bitcoin transactions will cost $100, $1,000, $10,000 per transaction in a month, let's say. By the way, I want to point out that I still have this de-Googled phone that was sent to me, and I've been using it religiously while I travel. The link is in the description below. They were really nice to send me this phone, but at first I was like, okay, what am I going to do with an extra phone? But I've actually been using this as like a Wi-Fi hotspot because I got my Philippines SIM card in this phone and then my American SIM in this, so I can still get text messages. Amazing setup, totally worth it. And also this feels way more private and kind of secret. Okay, this is called Good Cup, the Good Cup here in Cebu, Philippines. Yeah, Good Cup Coffee. And it's my favorite place for coffee here in the Philippines. They also have very good matcha. Melon yogurt, mandarin orange, and almond. You have Bitcoin, you want to turn it into something usable, Lightning, you're going to have to pay the on-chain fee. Then on Lightning, you have to pay for the transfer fees. And then when you're all wrapped up and you're ready to settle the account, you have to pay the Bitcoin fee again to get it back into the sound currency, the Bitcoin. Look at that. And a little pastry, chocolate pastry. I could just take my Bitcoin, get hit with the fee, keep it in Lightning, never take it off of Lightning, but there are some serious problems with Lightning, the biggest being censorship. There is a popular meme floating around of the most hated person in BTC maximalism, Roger Ver, where someone created a node with Roger Ver's name, and that node was censored by the other nodes. Now this was a joke, but here's not what's a joke. There are Lightning nodes that block each other because of political disagreements. And the way the Lightning Network works is if you're the average person like me who is not technical and doesn't have a node, you will rely on routing through other nodes. So if little nodes start blocking each other because of censorship, because of disagreements, because of different political ideologies, that really, really sucks. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do one of those things in YouTube where you cut to me editing later, but I thought of a really good analogy to put it. It's sort of like a car. It doesn't matter if you have an open source car if all of the roads that you have to drive that car on are all privately owned, centralized toll roads. And it doesn't make sense that the world's most censorship-resistant currency relies on a tool that is censorable. Like the fact that Lightning can be censored at all, the fact that that can even be fathomed, if Bitcoin is uncensorable and Lightning Network isn't, what does it mean that Bitcoin needs Lightning to work as money? Is Bitcoin uncensorable then? All of this together, frankly, doesn't make me very excited about Lightning. Not to mention the fact that Lightning fails multiple times. In fact, in my documentary, I'm on the phone with a Lightning node operator, BTC maximalist, while the Lightning Network fails in front of him, and he is befuddled. Beautiful. Thank you. This smells so good. Is Lightning really that bad? Is it really so terrible? No, I don't think so. I think that most of the time it does work. And the issues with censorship and those issues with nodes, maybe not the biggest deal in the world after all. If node operators wanted, they could just be anonymous. And that way it would reduce the likelihood that node operators would cut off other node operators. And is it really such a big deal to take money off of Lightning? Sure. Technically speaking, you'd want to keep your Bitcoin and only use a little bit in Lightning to go back and forth, but is it really that bad if all your money is on Lightning and never goes back on Bitcoin main network at all? But the question is, why deal with all of these frustrations and all of these issues when you have solutions like, well, Bitcoin Cash that just work? Awesome.
This is my first brew.
There's a lot of jackfruit in that, huh? I just landed in Japan. I'm in Fukuoka in my tiny little hotel room. This hotel is called Appa. Check this out. This woman is the owner of this hotel chain, and what she's saying is, I'm the boss. That was not a very long airplane trip, but it was a tough one. So one of the things about the owner of this hotel that's interesting is her husband apparently is like a very conservative Japanese man who writes novels. This might be one of his books. I actually don't know, but views of the country's involvement in World War II in generally a positive light.
Shot of me pretending to be asleep. Check. Shot of me at my computer. Check. It's Bangkok. I'm here for a few days. I miss the city. Look, guys, here's the thing with lightning. It's fine. It's a fine experiment. It's not good money. Imagine that you live in a world where there's only the Ford Model T. Every other car is an alt car. We don't talk about those. We focus on the original, the true, the Model T. Problem is, we need to get the hell out of California, man. Those taxes, what are they doing? The wokeness, let's go somewhere nice. How about, I don't know, Chicago, Illinois. I hear it's pretty safe there. Well, if we want to drive from California to Chicago, well, we have an issue. That Ford Model T is going to make it really, really slow and frankly, really expensive. So we invent the Lightning Network for cars. And the way it works is this. You simply pay a low, potentially multi-$1,000 fee to take your Model T and place it on a train car. Then we can zip it around the train line. Of course, you're gonna pay for those stations, and it's not a big fee, there's a small fee, but frankly, it can add up. And sometimes some stations get cut off completely and they're dead ends. But finally, you arrive in Chicago and you're ready to take your car off the Lightning Network for cars. And you do that. But of course, you're gonna have to pay that on-chain fee again, literally the chain that they put on the car to take it off the train track. With the Tesla Model S, you get in, connects to your phone, it's good to go. And in this case, you don't have to pay to put the car on the train track or even take the car off. No issue there. It just works. That's the situation that we have with Lightning. It doesn't really make sense. All the things, man, that Bitcoin is not supposed to do, right? It's supposed to be peer-to-peer electronic cash, cheap, fast, effective. But fine, we'll leave that aside. Satoshi was an idiot. His views were wrong. Great, okay. None of this makes any sense when you can simply use another car that doesn't have the limitations of the Model T. You can use Dash, you can use Monero, you can use Bitcoin Cash, you can use any number of coins that can do the same thing as Bitcoin, but significantly better. The way to solve this is that everyone just uses Lightning. And then we have a fiat system again, but instead of gold bars that no one ever sees because people use dollar bills from the bank, they use Lightning tokens instead of using actual Bitcoin. Do I think Bitcoin will ever increase the block size? Probably not, but I don't really think it really matters because we're talking about a situation where there's alternatives on the market. If you want a Tesla Model S, you can go buy one. If you want a Honda, you can go get one. There's other solutions that work better as money than Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm gonna go work out. Fun video. Good seeing you guys. Goodbye. Okay, later.